This is Sports Charlotte, the podcast about sports in Charlotte. My name is Hough High. I'm editor-in-chief at the Charlotte Post, joined by Cameron Williams, who is a staff reporter at the Post. And today, in the true spirit of the Keep Pounding Classic, we've got two newcomers to the podcast. Coach DeShawn Baker over at Hough High School, and Bobby Collins, who is the head coach at South Pointe and is a Hough alum as a coach. So, welcome to the podcast, fellas. And your teams are squaring off Friday at Bank of America Stadium in the Keep Pounding Classic, a clash of North and South Carolina, which is always good for conversation. And you've got the other tie that binds. You've both roamed the sidelines at Hough High School. First of all, talk about Friday and what that means to you personally as a coach and to your programs.
You go ahead and go first, Bake.
Uh, First of all, thanks for having us on the podcast. Really appreciate it. Personally, it means a lot, man. It means you're doing something right with your program. You got good kids, you're doing the right thing, and people are noticing what you're doing with your program to be in this type of classic. It's an honor. The kids are excited about it, man. And for a lot of kids, I said this a lot of kids, they'll never get a chance to play in an NFL stadium. And, but we got to go out and treat it like we're playing at Hough High School or we're playing at South Pointe High School. We can't just go out there with the big eyes because we're playing at the Panther Stadium. We still got to come out and play ball.
How about you, Coach Collins?
Oh, man, it's exciting. We went out there this morning to test the headsets to make sure everything will work. As a player, when I played at South Carolina State, we were fortunate enough to be able to play in that stadium once or twice, but now being able to get an opportunity to coach in it, I'm excited about it with former school, former teammates. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Both schools will bring a lot of students and a lot of fans. So, it'll be a good atmosphere for everybody on Friday.
Talk about y'all's two's unique relationship. Obviously, both of you coached at Hough, but you both played at South Carolina State. Coach Collins, you blocked for Coach Bake when he was a youngster coming up at running back. So just talk about that and how that's going to be a little bit unique. But come Friday, I'm sure all those feelings will be set aside.
Yeah, I was a fifth-year senior when DeShawn came in as a freshman. Special back, special player coming out of Charlotte. So it was good. We were new head football coach. Coach Buddy Pugh came in, and we had a dominant offensive line, so we knew that we want to run the ball. And he joined a great room of running backs and is in the Hall of Fame right now at South Carolina State. So it was fun. We were at a really great place playing each other. So I'm excited about it on Friday.
What about you, Bake?
Man, for me, it's exciting, man, because like Bobby said, I came in as a youngster, and they kind of, they took me under their wing. I was able to play as a freshman, and I tell everybody, Bobby probably one of the top two people that I've ever played with. That's funny when you playing, and he ain't two. He on the field cracking jokes while he blocking everything. So we had a great time, and Bobby's a big jokester. So it's hey, we always joking. I had a lot of waves when I was in high school, and Bobby like, Big, how you get the waves in your head, boy? If I had the waves, I'd be a 12. I'm a 10 right now.
Great times, man. Great times.
So we and I always been like the young brother. Me and Bobby in the same fraternity. It's, like I said, he was the first head coach here. So it's a unique relationship. And again, Coach Chachi played with us too. We all played together.
Oh, wow. Oh, gosh. Y'all and Chachi?
Yeah.
I hear that.
When you are getting ready for a game like this, and for folks who may not be that familiar with your programs, you're both powers in your respective states. South Pointe, a bunch of state titles. Hough hasn't gotten the state title yet, but you've been in the hunt.
Right.
When you are squaring off in a game like this, how important is it to get off to a good start against a really good opponent, not just an okay opponent, but a really good one?
Man, it's very important. You can't with a team like South Point, man, they got great players, man. They're loaded in every position. And if you go out there and you pitch down your leg at the beginning of the game and you three and out, it's gonna be in for a long game. So it's very important that we go out there, execute what we got to do or what we're trying to do, not turn the ball over. You know, even if we got a punt, we can't do three and out. Like we can't do that because they're talented enough, they're good enough, and they got, like I said, they got weapons everywhere. That if you do it, you'll be hurt. And if you get down early with them, you know, they'll step on your neck.
How about you, Coach Collins?
Well, you know what, man? I know the tradition up there, because I was fortunate enough to be a part of it. Coach Baker and Coach Jamel Bird and, Coach Chachi Sullivan. I know what those guys are preparing for. I know how they prepare week in and week out. So, we know it's going to be a game to where, it's going to be one up front on both sides of the ball, on the O-line and the D-line. Those guys got to play, and they got to be able to play at a high level. You can't make mistakes on offense, and you got to be able to execute well on defense.
Coach Baker, I want to ask you this question because I talked with Coach Collins a little last week about just his team and season expectations and stuff for a story I was working on. But one of the things his players kept saying was they were looking forward to this game more than any other game in their non-conference. And of course, they played Northwestern, a rival there in Rock Hill. But they kept mentioning the Hough game. What's the energy like around your program right now? Are they looking forward to this South Point game? And what would getting off to to a 1-0 start do for the momentum?
Man, of course, you know they're excited about the game again. Coach Collins' players and my players, they all run the same, group of people. They all play 7-on-7 together. Most of them grew up playing little league together, stuff like that. So I think it's very exciting around here. They're ready to play. To beat a team like South Point and start 1-0 would be great. For the last couple of years, I think we've lost the first game to a South Carolina team the last 3 or 4 years. We had Northwestern last year, and again we let that slip down. Slip out of our hands, just not executing at the end of the game. But the kids are excited, man. They're always excited. And again, you play at the Panther Stadium. That's exciting in itself. I think we're gonna have a really good crowd out there because some teams play on Saturday, so a lot of those teams are gonna be at the game on Friday. And again, South Point going to bring people. Like they love football down there, and so the kids just excited to play, man, and ready to get started.
Coach Collins, I'll let you follow.
Yeah,
yeah. Both programs are seeking the state championship this year. So to beat a man, you got to play against great teams. You know what I mean? So that's what it all comes down to. From Hough High School to West Charlotte to Northwestern to Rock Hill, our non-conference is tough, but our ultimate goal is to be playing in December and not just playing but winning. So you can't expect to play in those big games and win those kind of games not going against premier football teams. So for us as a program, we're not running from any smoke. We want to be able to make sure we can go in there and compete, stay healthy, do what we're supposed to do, stick to the plan, and in the fourth quarter be in the game and have a chance to win it.
You both have talked about culture in your programs, and South Carolina, I guess in football circles in high school, folks will say, well, yeah, South Carolina is a bit more competitive than North Carolina, but that gap is not a very big one. Talk a little bit about the culture of football at your respective campuses in terms of, South Point, you've got state titles. Hough, you've been there and you've gotten close. What is it about the culture of football on your campuses that make you unique?
For South Carolina, for us down here at South Point, the school is a little older than Hough. All right. So I guess it's going to start to tradition, with state championships because we have them down here. We've had multiple players to go to the NFL here. So when those players come back home and you can touch them and they come do their camps here and they come be a part of the program. So it gives you an opportunity to be able to dream and be able to fulfill aspirations, So I think that's the biggest difference in, me coaching 10 years in one state and now 13 years in another. It's our access to our kids in South Carolina year round. So it doesn't stop for us here to be able to lift weights, train, and do different things with our kids. So I think that'll be the biggest gap, the access that we have year round here and how administrations from superintendents to principals to athletic directors know how important, athletics and football is in the state.
And over here, Huff, man, we like Bobby said about the administration and stuff. We got a really good principal, man. He's really good. He knows about athletics. He knows how important it is. And so, they've done a good job of, being on the same page with me as far as football wise and any other sport that's at Hough High School. But the culture, man, like Bobby, this school been over 15 years now. I think we've had a couple of NFL kids that Bobby coached. Mark, and I want to say it was another one. I want to say that was the Smith kid, Bobby, that went to
Carl
JMU.
Tucker. Carl Tucker.
Carl Tucker.
Yep. Yep.
So we hadn't had the tradition that South Pointe has with all the NFL guys, but me, the coaches bringing the mentality, the way we do things, how we do it. The standard's gonna be the standard, and we want to play a certain way. We got a hashtag that we got Havoc. Huff always violent on contact. And so I want the kids to take my personality when it comes to football. Like I love it. You know what I'm saying? I breathe football. And sometimes I give football too much of my life. But when you want to be great at something, you want to be good at something, that's what it takes. It takes some sacrificing. And so, man, we're just trying to build a toughness around here and just do things a certain way.
Got you guys. And so I want to ask, who are some key players? Obviously, everybody knows about Jazavian Currents and Samari Matthews. We'll talk about those guys here in a minute, but who are some of the maybe newcomers or the unexpected players that are going to make a big impact for you guys this season and in the game Friday? Whichever one wants to start.
Go ahead, baby.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to see my receiver Jaden White. I'm excited for him, man. He had a hell of a spring. He's had a great summer. So I'm excited to see what he is going to do this year. He was one of those guys when I first came back to Huff, he was ineligible. And then he was behind Sean Brady last year. And so he played here and there. So I'm excited to see what he does this year.
Coach Collins?
All right, yeah, I think we got a few junior defensive lineman, Self Tillman. We expecting a coming out show for him this year. So we have a freshman running back that I think is going to be a really good player for us,
He
Rayshawn
is really
Brown.
good. He is
Yeah,
really good.
yeah. I think So for us, man, we are, we just trying to keep the standard the standard. Practice is really tough at South Pointe every day. So practice is very tough. So we are finally ready to cut the guys loose. Huff and South Pointe only got one scrimmage in this year before the season started. So I think both programs are excited to watch their guys get out there and compete this Friday on a big stage.
Gotcha. And so it's when I talked with you last week, Coach Collins, you said that you thought the defense would really be the focal point or the best part of your team. Huff historically has been a very strong defensive team, so it's fitting that two of your best players are on the defensive side of the ball, and Mr. Currens and Mr. Matthews. Talk about what they are going to be doing this year as far as leadership's concerned. Both are seniors, both are committed to play D1 football, one at South Carolina and one at Texas. So that's it's going to be a high profile matchup, not necessarily them two on each other, but just having them guys guard your best receivers.
Well, Currents plays wide out, plays quarterback, plays center, plays right tackle, left tackle, punter, kicker, long
Well,
snapper,
he's
personal
committed
protector.
as a DB, right?
Yeah, he's committed as a DB. So I think people will see that matchup. I think people will see Currents at wide receiver and Samori guarding him. Both of those players, when you be around those two guys, I think the word that you hear the most is compete. They love to compete. So I think both guys are going to play in the SEC. So, I don't think the stage is going to be too big for either one of them. So I think it's going to be a great competition on Friday night watching them play.
And again, like I said earlier, man, a lot of people don't know them boys like best friends. Like they stay at each other's house. Like they do everything together. So it's gonna be fitting to see them. But like Samari, as far as leadership role, Samari don't say much. Like he's not the guy that's gonna get in your face and tell you doing wrong. He's more of a let me show you how to do it. Or when he's off the field, he's coaching the guy that's backing him up or anybody. But I think people's going to be excited to see that matchup. Like Bobby said, Terrence does a little bit of everything, and
Mhm.
so I think they will see that matchup eventually. But again, I think both guys, just like Bobby said, keeping the main thing, and it's going to go out and play their style of ball.
Gotcha.
Hey, coaches, I wanted to just ask you this. You two are really good friends. You played college ball together. Obviously, your paths cross on a consistent basis, and you know each other. Sounds like almost like brothers. Now, I know most brothers love to talk trash to each other. What's the conversation been between you two since this game was announced?
And just two competitors that, I think for me, because we played together, we both know that we love this game and we want to compete at a high level. So now the only thing we try to do is push our passion on our
Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
So for us, it's, I tell my kids all the time, on Friday, I'm their biggest cheerleader. I know what you went through on Monday through Thursday. So now let's just go out there and compete, have fun. We're not worrying about anything. Let's just go out there and compete and have fun. But yeah, I know a lot of that staff, and that staff know a lot of my coaches. So we'll both tell the referees before the game, like when you hear all the trash talking, it's sincere. It's
Yeah,
not personal at all. We
yeah.
just out there having a little bit of fun. So that part I'm excited about more than anything else.
And like I said, it's more of me calling Bobby, telling him to let me get 23 for a couple plays. Because he a ball player now, and he got a lot of them. But at them 23, man, he's really good. I want to say he's a underclassman, and so I call and mess with Bobby by him all the time. But like Bobby said, even when we did 7-on-7 against each other this year, the referees thinking that something about to happen, and it's like, again, them kids know each other, so they just talking junk, being competitive, and after the game, it's all love. You know what I mean? So we just, like you said, we just competitive, man, and ready to play, and we're gonna give everything we got.
Yeah, so it's not a matter of Bobby, I'm going to beat the pants off you, or vice versa. It's none of that.
Hey man, listen, we don't play no more. We coach.
Yeah, we coaching.
We coach. Look at if I was blocking for him and he was running the ball, we had no doubt we would get into the
No
box.
doubt.
No
No
doubt we would
doubt.
get into the box. So now we want our kids to be able to keep that same enthusiasm.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
I hear
but
you.
it sounds like it's going to be a great time, and we can't wait to get there and watch you two coach your teams as they go about their business while you two chirp or whatever else you're going to do during that time. Uh, Coach DeShawn Baker, Coach Bobby Collins, thank you for joining us. And for you out there who are listening or watching the podcast, be sure to like us on YouTube and go to our website, thecharlottepost.com, become a donor, a subscriber, or subscribe to our sports newsletter. It comes out every Thursday, and you can bet your bottom dollar that there will be something on the Keep Pounding Classic this week. So for everybody back at the office and beautiful Dorida and Cameron, I'm Herb. Those are the coaches. We're going to see them Friday, and we thank you for watching and listening.